What's up, Aaron? Let's see. So it's all about finding the light, right? All right, Mr. Rowan, you're there. There you go. So Rowan, now it's gonna ask you. There we go.
What up, Jorge?
I knew we would figure it out. What's up?
I never felt so old before, as of trying to figure out Instagram Live right there.
Well, you look so blown out. It's like we look like you're in heaven,
Sorry.
in like '70s porn heaven.
It's the mustache, really.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
Yeah.
I figured I'd use this part of the hat of the room. It just looks better.
Nice.
How have you been?
Not bad at all. Just kind of been organizing my life on the back end over here, trying to plan and put together shoots in the future, just kind of stay creative with the mood boards and whatnot. How about yourself? How are things on your neck of the woods?
I've been good. Same thing, just kind of applying for every loan in the world and, just doing my
Yeah. Do what you got to do.
Really quick, for all you guys that don't know, which most of you probably do, Rowan Daly is one of my key photographers, sometimes referred as my son. And he's just a talented celebrity, landscape, all different types of photography you really master. So thank you for being on the call and for offering some of your wisdom and guidance that I will ask you. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm stoked to be here. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So I wanted to just kind of show people really quick some of your work. So this is my site, my agency site, JP Raps, filled with little signs of gratitude in case I want to just like forget. But if we go here, we can see Rowan's work right here. This was great. This was, remember the Nick Jonas cover that we did?
Oh, that was so much fun running around those sand dudes.
And this is just kind of an overview. How does it look? I can't see how it looks, but you can see it, right?
Yeah, you can point the phone down a little bit. Nice.
There?
Yep.
Okay, great. And these are just kind of like an overview of all this stuff. This one I'm particularly really excited about, which kind of umbrellas the IG Live, which is the work that we've done for the social network, This was Rowan's second one. The social network is an empowering movement starring content creators, giving visibility for causes. This is the one we did benefiting the art of Elysium with different content creators. And we did it in this really great warehouse. And the whole concept was shooting the subjects as art, right? What would you say?
Yeah, no, that's definitely kind of wraps it up. It was fun to kind of get creative with those shots.
This was really
the art directors were fun.
Yeah, right. And I think it was so fun to turn everybody into, like almost like if you're wrapping up art, right?
Yeah, that group shot is one of my favorites too. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. And since we've done that one, we've done a couple other ones.
Yeah, I think
with the last one with Jane Lynch, and here's another one that I love. And this was the first one that we did together, which was benefiting Hollywood Food Coalition, which feeds the homeless, huh?
Yeah, I loved that nonprofit. They were really cool to work with, and that whole organization is incredible. And the fact that they've never missed one night of dinner in the last 33 years or so, giving away to the homeless. That's incredible.
Yeah, man, I got to get back there this week. It's just, I think now, everybody was so scared because of COVID-19 and being around people with compromised immune systems. But I'm just going to go back this week and take all the necessary precautions, obviously.
Yeah, definitely take care of yourself.
Yeah. So, Rowan, tell us a little bit how you got started in photography. I mean, for people that want to get into it, for people that want to know your story, how did it start for you?
So my mom claims that it happened when I was two.
Yeah,
my mom claims. She said she gave me a fake Fisher Price when I was like 2 years old, and would go around and take fake pictures, copying my aunts and uncles around the house and whatnot. So I guess technically 2 years old, but I kind of technically started when I begged and pleaded my parents for a real camera when I was in like 5th or 6th grade. And I was that little emo kid that would like wear headphones and walk around the neighborhood and not talk to anybody, but take really pretty pictures of grass, some other bullshit like that.
Right.
But professionally, about 10 years ago, I was born and raised here in Los Angeles, and my family's out here, and my brother worked in the industry, representing actors and whatnot. And he used to pull me out of like middle school to take modeling shots of him on the beach and like a bunch of other things. But he always said, yeah, right. He always said that, if you work hard and pursue your dreams in this town, dreams do come true here. And like, if you work hard enough, you'll be traveling the world within 5 years and maybe off on your own in 10 years. And that's all I kind of needed to hear. Because that week I started taking internships with various photographers around Los Angeles and kind of learning what I needed to learn, and not just the artistic creative side, but the business side of things too. And yeah, it was about 10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, and definitely being in LA obviously helps in the sense like a lot of the brands are here, a lot of the celebrities that are kind of, it's just people that you end up knowing that you're like, hey, let's do a shoot, and it turns into a job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that kind of sums it all up. Los Angeles, I don't think I'd be able to have this career in many other cities. And Los Angeles is really unique, having the creative industry all in a hub out here. So I would always tell people who are looking to do it Los Angeles has a lot of opportunity to kind of get your foot in the door, and you do it well enough, you can be anywhere in the world and pick up jobs. So. Yeah, Los Angeles is pretty crucial to that. I think it's also easier that it's my hometown. I kind of know the lay of the land and have had relationships here for years and years. I can't imagine what it might be like to move here and try to pursue photography full time. I'm sure that's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, no, and I think this is an important point because, I get reached outs from photographers all over the world, and they're like, they're in different states and countries where either I don't know their market or there isn't a big of a market. So I definitely, step one, you need to be in the backyard of where the brands are and the buyers, right?
Yeah, especially because you'll get a lot of the calls for jobs happen a day before the job or 2 days before the job, and you kind of just got to be ever present. And yeah, that makes being here in this town pretty much the most crucial thing to your business as a photographer, anyway.
Yeah. So listen, so obviously this is a time where, this is a good time for regrouping, right? For regrouping and taking a look at all the art and figuring out a marketing strategy, if you will. Tell me a little bit about, because I know you just got yourself a really great space, and I think as an artist or any kind of entrepreneur, right, you have to diversify your business and think as a business person. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your space.
My space, yeah. Every photographer dreams of having their own studio, and I've had a few throughout my career, but this last one that I'm in right now, I built about 2-3 months ago, maybe it's January really. And when I walked into this space here, I'll give you a little look around.
Yeah.
It was pretty dark and decrepit here. I built a trampoline during this whole fiasco.
That's like, that has some like insane health benefit for I can't remember the name of the gland, but I mean that's a really good health benefit you're doing, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's great cardio. It's like a cup of coffee in the mornings, and yeah, it's fun.
You can scream COVID-19, COVID.
Yeah. It lets me be a kid again. But yeah,
this looks amazing, man. So this is your work living space, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Upstairs is my office and living room and bedroom.
Right.
But down this hall, we have the hair and makeup and styling room that built out for when people, roll through here.
Right. That's great. And, especially now as we start to trickle back into business, it's good for anybody watching that obviously needs to rent a studio, that this is kind of a minimal contact, right? As far as the services that you can provide.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been pretty nimble in the way I worked, and so the studio was much of the same approach. And when all these other bigger studios with high impact crews and space and whatnot, I think it's kind of an advantage to have this little smaller, nimble space.
Yeah.
As photographers, you're a lot of times a one-man show as it is. So, still being able to do a little bit of work here and there on my own accord is, kind of keeps you floating. Having your own space that you can kind of work in at any given moment, whenever the inspiration hits, like it's always an added value to our business. And a lot of fun to
Right.
build. It's cool, working in the digital content world, to be able to actually work with your hands and build something in real life is a whole nother beautiful feeling that
Yeah.
I've missed.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's just it was really smart, and one of the ways that and for all you people out there that want to get into this business, I think what you've done that has been really smart is, like, obviously you own your own equipment, you now have your workspace, studio, which now, as the industry has just gotten so competitive, it's actually such a benefit and pleasure to always quote you as you come in with like a 360 deal, you know, and clients love that because since technology has really changed the landscape for photography, right? Because so many great cameras are out there. People can what used to take the masters years to perfection. A kid can come in and be like, "Yo, I can do it,"
And I
and I
do.
have 500,000 followers. So what's up? And
Yeah.
but listen, it's like you can't fight what's coming or what's here. You just have to adapt. And I think you're one of those artists that you've been really smart in doing that. And I think that that's something that it's good for people to keep in mind, to adapt, right?
Oh, it's necessary. I mean, yeah, photography is a prime example of technology changing the whole industry. It's not just big changes like from film to digital. There's a lot of micro changes in this professional world in terms of like having to know different types of software or different types of specific digital cameras or equipment for specific jobs. Yeah, if you're not always learning and always adapting, then it's not going to really work out too well.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us a little bit about, how in your experience, you've been like the search for jobs, right? I think with photography and I think makeup and styling, it's like, yes, there's an agent obviously, but it's the way we get jobs is so democratized, right? Now it's like either the brand directly, there's the ad agency part, there's so many different permutations. What would you say has been the most successful way, the path of least resistance for you to get jobs and get clients?
Yeah, there's no real linear path
Right.
to finding clients, and they sometimes come out of nowhere, and other times I've been trying to pursue a client for a while, and I'd say like I think the biggest asset as a freelancer, as a photographer, is reputation. I think more than anything, my relationships and reputation is kind of what keeps jobs getting referred to me. Yes, you could have the agent. Yes, you can have the website, and you could have all the tools and skill set. But if you're not out there connecting with people and kind of taking it off the DM from the Instagram to the actual real life interaction, that's where most of my jobs and clients come from. And sometimes it happens at a bar where I'm having a beer, or other times it's a highly planned out meeting to really kind of go in there. But outside of reputation, I think being able just to have a well-rounded skill set in photography. Every client has a different eye. Every type of job has a different type of eye that you need for it. And learning what those different eyes are, what an actor is looking for, what a celeb is looking for versus the creative director versus what the stylings look at versus what makeup's looking at. Like, if you're kind of hitting all those beats, it's that same group of people that you work with that are then going to refer you to other jobs. And
Right.
so I think, doing quality work with those people, getting those referrals is probably I mean, it's not only the best compliment you can give somebody to refer somebody to a job, but it's also what ends up getting me a job more than anything.
Right, right. Yeah, there's no linear path per se. You kind of have to diversify all the efforts.
Yeah, and all of them are important, and you got to do them all constantly. So
Yeah. And I know, listen, and you and I kind of get into it sometimes, like people are always hitting us up for favors, right?
oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's some that I know I get asked for you, and then you have to walk you off the ledge, and then you have to walk me off the ledge. But then we
Yeah,
do the favors, and then we look
yeah,
back and we're like, that job, I know that, remember with that creative director that we were working with, and then that led to a Netflix job.
yeah,
And then that Netflix job was a smaller job, but hey, of course, this was before the zombie apocalypse hit.
yeah.
But who knows after, the apocalypse is done, then how we're going to pick up the pieces, right? And that'll turn into other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think doing favors is another super key ingredient to getting jobs. And probably in the top three reasons for sure. I think as an artist, you're constantly giving away your time and talent, and like you said, so many people ask for it that you got to kind of figure out the ones that are worth taking the time to do it all for. But I still shoot for free multiple times a week, and I still do the favors that I know for the people who that are not only working just as hard as I am, but have skin in the game with me, and we're all trying. I find that if you kind of look at those favor projects as like a something that you're all building together and all pitching in your time, talent, and you're by and large on those favor shoots, nobody's getting paid, so everybody's got skin in the game, and
Yeah.
so that stuff does lead to a lot of jobs, most jobs even. That's that word of mouth reputation thing again. If you just do as much work as possible, as consistently as possible, your name gets out there and your work gets out there. People see your work and then they recognize your work before they recognize your name. And it's all cyclical.
Yeah, especially for the editorial stuff, because whether it's print or digital, your name's on there, and it's almost like your own commercial.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then also, obviously, you're working with a team, right? So you're working with hair, makeup, styling that have a good experience with you, and it's just better to do work as long as, and you do it again. This goes back to how I thought you always do it really smartly, which is that since you do have all your own equipment and your space, you're not bleeding when you're doing these favors.
Yeah, I'm not spending money. I try to build this whole situation so with as much of those types of jobs I do, I don't have any overhead or spending money on it.
Yeah.
But
It's so smart for a photographer to build that kind of ecosystem, correct?
Oh, it's necessary. Absolutely necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if, it took me 10 years to kind of build what I got, but it's because I work with a lot of other photographers who are also doing the same thing, and we all help each other out. We share equipment or share studio space, and, we all kind of try to help each other out. So even if you don't have the money to kind of, get all the gear in the first place, photography is a very expensive sport. If you don't have that money, like you team up with your friends, and I hate to use the word collective, but by and large, it's kind of what it is in your network. And it, having access to all that equipment makes all these free jobs, makes it work.
Yeah, makes you bleed less.
Yes.
Makes you bleed, keeps your soul intact.
Yeah.
Okay, just as we're kind of wrapping up, what would so tell us a little bit about, obviously we talked a little bit about it in the beginning about what you were up to, but now, which is kind of a time of pause, right? It's an incredible time of pausing, and I think listen, we're all experiencing we're all managing our depression in some way, and it's like the jig is up. We what was over there in other countries is over here, and there's kind of a mourning, right? Would you say there's a bit of a mourning of the American dream that we've all had?
Man, there's a whole lot of emotions going on, and mourning is definitely one of them. It's I'd say one of the positive things that's come out of all this is we work at such a fast speed all the time that having this little break to not only, do some back end work like organizing all my terabytes and terabytes of photo shoots, and to being able to like edit old imagery and go back and kind of put the projects that I've had on the back burner to the forefront, and just more or less catch your breath. This whole thing has kind of allowed me to catch my breath and really kind of refocus my vision and my goals with where I want this career to go, and the type of work I want to be doing. So yes, this whole.
What would you say is some of that stuff? Like, where have you honed in your vision that you feel? What kind of breakthroughs have you had since this whole crisis began about your work? Definitely more nudes, right?
More nudes. Always more nudes.
Gotta shoot more nudes.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a breakthrough as much as there was a lot of breakdowns, but I think that the photography books that I've been working on over the last couple of years, I've really been able to kind of spend some time on. Right before this whole thing happened, my buddy Ben and I had you came to our joint gallery
Tell us
show.
a little bit about your birthday exhibit.
Yeah. March 7th was my birthday, and my best friend and I have been going down to Mexico for the last 6 years and bringing models and brands and friends and hanging out for the weekends and taking pictures. And over the course of that 6 years, we built a body of work that we finally had our first gallery show on March 7th. And we were able to we've been talking about doing that gallery show for so long, but in February and early March, when all this is kind of first ramping up, that time we were able to actually sit down and execute this gallery show. And we had like around 200 images. I think around 300 people showed up, and we sold most of them. And a project like that is something that I have been spending my time on during all this, just the fine art world in general, because obviously this whole commercial photography thing has completely shut down. So it's allowed to kind of bring those fine art projects to the forefront. And one of those projects is definitely a book of nudes. So be on the lookout for that one.
No, I know. I was trying to figure out. Your stuff looks so beautiful. This is actually. Can you see this? Pretty good. Or
point the camera down a little bit. A little more down. Like a lot more down. Cool.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the stuff that you did for Taiga's album cover, which is so beautiful, dude. And this was actually nominated for like one of the best cover albums for that agent's Elite website.
Yeah, that was super cool. That was an honor to be just to be nominated in the same category.
You speak like a true nominated person. Just to be nominated, like what? I love this shoot, dude. This was when we did you did the Matrix concept, right?
Point the camera down. It was a little hard to see. Yeah, I love that shot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was so great.
He was great.
This is Megan Portman when you shot her. Some of the social network stuff. I love this story. All like.
It's Vincent,
Pastel Power, and this is the cover for Mr. Warburton. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best things about this job is that you meet every type of person in the world here. As a photographer, I think my camera's been able to give me like a front row seat to the world, and that's included everything from being in the ring of a UFC fight to taking pictures of politicians to
this is not suggestive.
Not so subtle.
Remember when I almost did a blast with this one? I was like, I think I'm gonna hold this one back. But that was really fun though. But look, I
love that shot.
The colors in this one. This is a great shot, man. It's a great shot, and I love that Taiga and you work so much.
Yeah, together, we did that over at his house. So that was such a fun shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the cooler celebrities I've ever worked with. He's definitely a sweet dude.
Dude, tell us a little bit about, you don't have that transgender project here on your site, do you?
No.
Oh, man. Tell us a little bit about that project.
That's one of the books, fine art books I'm working on. I've been shooting transgender men, from like female to male transition men in various stages of their transition. And I originally just took it as a portrait project, and what I wanted to do, my ultimate goal was just to kind of provide imagery that helps someone feel really proud and confident in who they are in their course of their journey. Type of imagery that that you wouldn't be able to get much anywhere else, and I've had around 10 people so far come through the studio and hang out and shoot with me. I'm definitely looking for a lot more. And
I love that you did women to man transgender. I feel that that one doesn't get that much coverage. You don't hear about it much.
I agree. I don't know what that may be as a result of, but I definitely don't see a lot of visibility in general. And so I try. I mean, that's just another byproduct of this project, is putting more visibility out there and putting their message out there and their story out there. But ultimately, I just want them to feel confident in themselves. And if I could, frame them in a light that does that, then I'm stoked on it. Everyone who's come through has been super stoked on the images, and it's been a lot of fun to get to know them too along the way.
Yeah, I know that. I can't wait to. We need to find a great placement for it. We'll find a beautiful home for it, because it's a project that deserves a lot of love as far as the home.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's got to be the right place for sure. And yeah, we should do some more homework on that one. That would be fun.
Maybe we'll do it around now, because we got time.
Not too much else.
So Rowan, to wrap it up, I would love to hear some words of wisdom that you could share with some of the artists and the people that are just, in many ways, like all of us, are on a standstill, right? What do you do that you advise for people to do during this time to keep a healthy mental state, a good professional mental state, and anything that you want to share that works for you?
I think as an artist, this is such a great opportunity to kind of hone your own craft and perfect your craft, and not just the things that but like I was saying earlier, new software programs, photo editing programs, video editing programs. There's such a world of education out there that you constantly have to be up on. So honing your craft, any technician, any person who works with their hands always has to keep their skills up. So that helps me a lot. Keeps my brain active and learning. And I think maybe the other thing is just kind of take this time to kind of figure out, what direction you want to go with your photography career. Because I've always made those goals and then kind of found a route to get there. I think having a vision for what you want to be doing is pretty crucial. And now, since everybody's kind of resting and staying at home and pretty much doing the same exact thing, it's a good time to kind of listen to your own voice, your own head and heart, and trying to figure out where you want to be and carve that path.
And meditate.
It's necessary. Absolutely necessary.
Meditate is necessary. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much. Guys, if you like what you saw, take a screen grab, tag Rowan and I, because I'll be looking at that. Any questions, any bookings, anything at all, you can DM me directly or go to Rowan directly. He always tells me. And thank you so much for your support, and we'll be doing a lot of these. And like I said, I love that the first one was with you, the social network series, because you've been my rock through this whole project of the socialnetwork.com, and you're the one that you're my star. So I really want to say thank you.
Well, the feeling's mutual. Thank you, dude. This is such a rad project. I'm stoked to be a part of it.
And I really want to acknowledge you for your heart, your talent, your ability to just segue with people. I mean, I've seen you from being Tyga's favorite artist to the most trigger happy client to you're a chameleon, and as an agent, I couldn't ask for a better artist. So thank you.
Oh, for that. Stop it! I appreciate you. You're the best.
And you be safe. And thank you so much for doing the call. And let's talk later.
Yes, please. Thank you, George. I love you much.
All right. Remember, this studio also is open for booking, so you can contact Rowan directly for that. And thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.